The Supreme Court of India delivered a significant judgment. They ruled against selection based solely on interview marks. The court deemed such a process inherently arbitrary and susceptible to favouritism. This decision has profound implications for recruitment practices across the country. It underscores the need for transparency and fairness in public appointments. The ruling emphasizes the importance of objective criteria in selection processes. This landmark judgment stemmed from a case involving the Assam Forest Protection Force, AFPF. The case brought to light the potential pitfalls of relying solely on interviews. The court recognized that such a system lacks a robust mechanism for ensuring fairness. It highlighted the risks of bias and prejudice creeping into the selection process. The judgment serves as a reminder that public appointments should be based on merit and equal opportunity. It underscores the need for a level playing field where all candidates are evaluated fairly and transparently. The Supreme Court's decision is a victory for fairness and transparency. It sets a precedent for challenging selection processes that lack objectivity. This ruling will likely have far-reaching consequences. It prompts a review of recruitment procedures in various sectors. The judgment emphasizes the need to move away from subjective evaluations. It calls for more robust and objective selection methods. This ensures that the most deserving candidates are chosen based on merit, not favoritism. The court's stand against interview-only selections is a step towards a more just and equitable society. It reaffirms the fundamental right to equality of opportunity. The judgment paves the way for a future where selections are based on merit. It ensures a level playing field for all aspirants. This landmark decision will undoubtedly have a lasting impact on recruitment practices in India. It strengthens the foundations of a fair and transparent selection system. The Supreme Court's landmark judgment arose from a case involving the Assam Forest Protection Force, AFPF. In 2014, the AFPF initiated a recruitment drive for 104 constable positions. The selection process relied solely on interviews. No written examination was conducted. This decision to forego a written exam raised concerns about transparency and fairness. It sparked controversy that eventually reached the highest court in the land. The interview-based selection process revealed several anomalies. A significant disparity in district representation was observed. Out of 104 selected candidates, 64 belonged to only 2 districts. Shockingly, 16 districts had no representation at all. This skewed representation indicated potential bias in the selection process. It raised questions about equal opportunity for candidates from different regions. Further scrutiny of the selection list revealed violations of the reservation policy. Meritorious candidates belonging to reserved categories were incorrectly counted in the general category. This oversight deprived deserving candidates of their rightful opportunities. It highlighted a disregard for the principles of affirmative action. The anomalies in the AFPF recruitment process presented a compelling case for the Supreme Court's intervention. These irregularities pointed towards a deeply flawed and potentially biased selection process. The absence of a written exam, coupled with the skewed district representation and reservation policy violations, formed the crux of the Supreme Court's decision. The court recognized the need to address these systemic issues to ensure fairness and transparency in public appointments. The AFPF case served as a stark reminder of the importance of robust and objective recruitment processes. The Supreme Court's intervention marked a crucial step towards rectifying these injustices and upholding the principles of equality and meritocracy. The Supreme Court, in its ruling, strongly criticized the Guwahati High Court's earlier decision on the AFPF case. The High Court had favored the petitioners who challenged the cancellation of the recruitment list. However, the Supreme Court overturned this decision. It held that the High Court had erred in substituting its judgment for that of the government. The Supreme Court emphasized that judicial review should not overstep its boundaries. It should not interfere with executive decisions unless there is a clear violation of the law or principles of natural justice. Central to the Supreme Court's critique was the High Court's failure to apply the proportionality test. This test, a cornerstone of judicial review, requires courts to assess whether the means adopted by the government are proportionate to the objective sought to be achieved. In this case, the objective was to ensure a fair and transparent recruitment process. The The Supreme Court found that the High Court had not adequately considered whether the cancellation of the entire recruitment process was a proportionate response to the anomalies identified. The Supreme Court underscored the importance of the proportionality test in safeguarding against arbitrary exercise of power. It held that while courts have a duty to intervene when there is a violation of fundamental rights, they should do so in a measured and proportionate manner. The cancellation of the entire recruitment process, the Supreme Court reasoned, was an extreme step that disproportionately affected all candidates, including those selected fairly. The court's emphasis on the proportionality test serves as a crucial reminder to lower courts to exercise their powers of judicial review judiciously and with due regard to the principle of proportionality. The Supreme Court, while advocating for fairness, did offer some concessions to the original applicants. The court acknowledged that the cancellation of the recruitment process had caused hardship to the candidates who had participated in the interviews. To mitigate this, the court directed the government to provide age relaxation and fee waivers to the original applicants in the fresh recruitment process. This gesture, while upholding the sanctity of the selection process, also demonstrated the court's sensitivity towards the genuine aspirations of the candidates. The Supreme Court's judgment in the AFPF case extends beyond a single instance of recruitment irregularity. It serves as a clarion call for systemic reforms in recruitment processes across India. The court stressed the need for structured and transparent procedures to ensure fairness and meritocracy in public appointments. The judgment emphasizes that arbitrariness and favoritism have no place in a system that aspires to be just and equitable. The court urged all government departments and agencies to formulate clear and comprehensive recruitment rules. These rules, the court emphasized, should be framed transparently and made readily available to the public. Until such time as formal rules are framed, the court directed adherence to publicly available administrative instructions. This emphasis on transparency aims to eliminate ambiguity and provide a level playing field for all aspirants. Recognizing the importance of diversity and inclusion, the Supreme Court stressed the need for recruitment processes that foster representation from all sections of society. The court highlighted the importance of ensuring participation from all districts, particularly those historically backward or underrepresented. This emphasis on inclusivity aims to build a public workforce that reflects the rich diversity of the nation. The Supreme Court's vision for a transparent and inclusive recruitment system has far-reaching implications. It paves the way for a future where public appointments are based solely on merit, devoid of bias or prejudice. This, in turn, will lead to a more efficient and representative public service, capable of serving the needs of all citizens equally. The AFPF case, therefore, marks a watershed moment in India's journey towards a fairer and more just society.